Alright, we're getting ready to start chapter 9, which is about graphing. In the first graph, we're going to look at our line plots. It says, how can a line plot help you find an average with data given in fractions? So that's why we need to learn to do our fractions. Here's our problem for the day, for this page anyway. Students have measured the different amounts of water into beakers for an experiment. Beaker is a little glass kind of bottle that you use in science. The amount of water in each beaker is listed below. So there's 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, 3/4 cup, 1/4 cup, as you can read on through those. So it says if the total amount of water stayed the same, what would be the average amount of water in the beaker? So we're not going to go to the sink and get more water to add in our beakers, but we want to find the average or the mean of them. So it says count the number of cups for each amount. Draw an X on the number for the number of times the amount is recorded. So how many 1/4 cups have they recorded here? 4, right? Let's cross that out. So how many more 1/4 cups?
3.
1, 2, and come on. And 3. Okay? So we've used all our 1/4 cups. What else is in the top row that we need to look at?
1/2.
A 1/2 cup. Try to make the X's about the same size as what they did, so that they look kind of even. We have 1/2 cup in the bottom row. Is that what you see?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a 3/4 cup in the top row, which they have already put on. And then it looks like we have 2 more. Okay, to see if you have the right number of X's, you can count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 X's. So it says, count the number of cups for each amount. Draw an X for the number of times each amount is recorded to complete the line plot. They want to know first how many 1/4 cups are there. Well, there were 4, and we added 3 more, so there are 7 1/4 cups. How many 1/2 cups?
2.
And how many 3/4 cups?
3.
Okay. Step 2. Find the total amount of water in all the beakers that contain 1/4 cup of water. There are 7 beakers with 1/4 cups of water. So we have 7 times 1/4. You can put 7 over 1. So 7 times 1 is 7 over 4. Or what? How many 4s in 7?
1.
1 and 3/4 left over. Whoops. Wrote that in the wrong spot. So there are 7/4 or 1 3/4 cup. Oh, did everybody get those? Whoops. Okay, I'm just gonna do step 3 here. I guess I'm gonna have to erase the other. Whoops. Oh, 3, 2, and 2. Okay, so step 3, it says to find the total amount of water in all the beakers that contain 1/2 cup of water. There are how many beakers with 1/2 cup of water? How many X's do we have? 2. So there are 2 halves or 2 over 2, right? If we want to look at that in math terms, we would have 2 times 1/2. We'd have 2 over 1. We could cross reduce. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 over 1 is the whole number of 1. Let's find the total amount of water in all the beakers that contain 3/4. So we have 3x's times 3/4. What is 3 times 3? Over our 4th. How many 4s in 9?
2.
2. What would we have left over? 1/4. So 2 and 1/4. All right, moving on to step 5. It says add to find the total amount of water. Remember when we did our 1/4, we had 1 3/4 cups. When we did our half cups, we had 1 cup. And when we did our 3/4 cup, we have 2 and 1/4. I'm going to add my wholes. And the reason I'm going to add my wholes is because what is this going to add up to? 3/4 plus 1/4. 4/4, right? So I have 1 whole, 1 whole, 2 wholes. If I'm adding, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. And then the 3/4 and the 1/4 make another whole, so I have 5, right? So I have 5 cups of water altogether. Divide the sum you found in step 5 by the number of beakers. Okay, we counted earlier. How many x's did we have? Do you remember? 12. So we have 5 cups divided by 12. When we find the average, we add all our scores, or in this case, the cups of water in our beakers, and we divide it by the number of beakers. Just like if I took all your math tests and I added all your scores together and divided by 10, I would get an average or the mean. Okay, so the average amount of water in a beaker is 5/12 cup. Okay, here are our cups of water written into an equation where we can use our order of operations. 7 times 1/4 was 7/4. Still have our bracket. Plus, what was this one? 1 plus 9/4. We still have our bracket, so we're still going to be dividing by 12. Okay, so then once I added my 7/4 and 9/4, I would get 16/4, right? Which 4 goes into 16 how many times? 4. And then I would have to add my 1. So I would have 5 divided by 12. And my brackets are gone. And then it would equal 5/12. That's to try this at the top of page 370. Okay, we're moving on to the example on page 370. Rain divides 3 2-ounce bags of rice into smaller bags. The first bag is divided into bags weighing 1/6 ounce each. The second bag is divided into bags weighing 1/3 ounce each. And the third bag is divided into bags weighing 1/2 ounce each. So we're going to have to complete our line plot. Hopefully I can get that out of the way. So what would we make our labels down here on our line plot? What are we using?
1/6, 1/3.
Yes, and you go from 1/6, 1/3. You should probably be doing this on your paper. It's already on there? Great. And 1/2. Okay, then we've got to graph our x's on there. So it says the first bag she divides into bags weighing 1/6 pound. So we labeled the 1/3 on step 2. We labeled the 1/6, 1/3, 1/2. Okay, let's see what they tell us to do in step 3. use division to find the number of 1/6 ounces. So 2 divided by 1/6 would be 2 times 6, which would be 12. 2 divided by 1/3 would be 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 divided by 1/2 would be 2, which would be 4. So we have 12, 6, and 4, and then we would need to plot those on our graph. So we're going to have 12 little X's here above 1/6. Hopefully.
How many?
12. Right here, 12. Because we divided 2 ounces. Remember, each bag contained 2 ounces. In the first bag we divided into 6-ounce bags. Now the second bag we divided into thirds, and so we need 6 of those bags. And the last bag we divided into 1/2 ounces, and so we need 4 of those. So now we've plotted all that. Does anybody have any questions about how we got those X's? The number of X's. Okay, so step 4 was to do the X's, which we had already done. And we should have had a label over here for our graph, and it should say weight of rice bag in ounces. WEIGHT of rice bags. That should be capitalized. It's a title of something, so we're going to capitalize all the important words.
Do you need to capitalize?
No, it's not an important word. In ounces. Right, this is the top of page 371, the Sharon Show. Lily needs to buy beads for her necklace. The beads are sold by mass. That means by what they weigh. She sketched a design to determine what beads are needed, and then writes down their sizes. The sizes are shown below. So we have 1/5. It says mass of beads in grams. So she went through and she did all the 1/5s. There were 3. Now how many 2/5s? 1. Can't make them very big. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do you see any more that I missed? And then 3/5 grams. There's 1 and 2. I really encourage you to do this part so that you don't miss anything. And then a 4/5 gram, and I see 2 of those. Okay, so as we're looking at this, the students notice that I am missing a 3/5 in my list, so we're going to add a 3/5 X up there. It says, what is the combined mass of the beads with a mass of 1/5? So we're talking about these beads right here. And it says, think. There are blank X's. How many X's are there? 3. Above the 1/5 on the line plot. So the combined mass of the beads is 3/5 or 3/5. Okay, so on number 2, it says what's the combined mass of all the beads with 2/5 grams. So here's that work right here. 2/5 times 2. There were 2 of them, and then to find the overall weight, we had to figure all of our grams, and then we had to add them together here at the top. And then to find our number 4, our average weight, we divided the number of grams by the number of beads to get 6/13.